Hello and welcome back to Padho to Aise. So we are discussing 1000 most important question for UGC NET JRF paper 2 political science. This is lecture number 7 out of 40. We have discussed the question related to political theory and Western political thought. Today we are starting comparative politics. We are going to discuss 100 question of comparative politics in 4 upcoming lectures. So there would be 40 of total lectures in which I would be discussing 25 question in each one of them. So let us understand one by one. Myself, Avishek Kumar Mishra, 3-time JRF qualified instructor in US, PhD scholar. If you want to buy our mock test, you can go on our app and you can buy over there. You can also access them on our website. Also, the courses are available. If you want to download this PDF, then also you could go on our app. We'll soon update the PDF over there. So let us go to the first question. So first of all, which of the following is an assumption of rational choice approach in comparative politics? Let us understand what is rational choice approach. Rational choice approach says that the bureaucrats, they are trying to maximize their interest. They are trying to have their more benefit rather than having the benefit of the society or the development of society. Therefore, they're inflating the budget. The work which could be done in 500 rupees, they could spend 2000 rupees so that they could have more and more money in their pocket. So this is what the rational choice approach is all about. A rational choice approach thinkers are like a lot of thinkers are associated. In comparative politics, the most important thinker is Olson, right? So this is what you have to remember. Also, Niskanen, Buchanan, Tulak, these are the thinkers who are associated over there. I'm writing the name. Tulak is there, Niskanen is there, Niskanen, and there is one more, Buchanan. So these are the thinkers associated with the rational choice approach. So answer would be option number 2. The individual make decision based on calculation to maximize their self-interest. And this is how the bureaucratic system is also working. Okay. So rational choice approach is most often is used in order to criticize the bureaucratic system of India or maybe of any country. Let us talk about Stein Rokkan. Stein Rokkan is a thinker. Okay, first of all, let us read the statement. Try to answer this question by your own. So why the Stein Rokkan considered a significant in comparative politics? He introduced the theory of separation of power. He developed model for state and nation formation and studied the political cleavages. He emphasized the role of bureaucracy in modern political system. He focused on the behavioral study of individual voting pattern. So these are the options given to us. So obviously he is not associated with the theory of separation of power was given by Montesquieu in full-fledged form. Before that, Locke also discussed about the separation of power as I told you for the first time. So Stein Rokkan is associated with the models of party system. He talks about the cleavage party in modern nation state, that how the parties are breaking apart based on ideology, based on a particular interest. If you talk about Janata Dal, how the Janata Dal was de-associated in a lot of political party in India, like Rashtriya Janata Dal was there, then JDS was there, then JDO was there, a lot of political parties, INLD, these all were nothing but the fragments of the Janata Dal. So this is what the Stein Rokkan talks about. He talks about the cleavage party system. So therefore, he developed the models of state and nation formation and studied the political cleavages mainly in the terms of the party system. So that would be the answer. Let us go to the next one. Now over here, which thinker argued that the bureaucracy is defining feature of modern state? So obviously answer is very simple. The thinker is also associated with the ideal type of bureaucracy. The answer would be Max Weber. Max Weber is the thinker who said that the bureaucracy is most important feature of the modern nation states, right? This is what we need to understand. So also let us go to the next question. Question number 4. What does structural functional approach emphasize in comparative politics? First of all, who gave the structural functional approach? It was Almond and Powell. Gabriel Almond and Powell. These are the two thinkers who talks about the structural functional approach. There were some of the problems with the system approach which was given by David Easton. So structural functional approach is nothing but a kind of a sophisticated model, a kind of add-on on the system model, whatever was given by the David Easton. So this is what you need to remember. Now let us understand what is the structural functional approach is all about. So the culture foundation of the political system, the interaction and role of the political structure within a system to maintain stability, The decision-making behavior of political actor, the historical evolution of specific political institution. So answer would be, it is nothing but, see, what is a structural functional approach? There was something called institutional approach, very famous during the time of Aristotle in comparative politics. And it was really famous during the time of Jean Blondel as well. So institutional approach is only focusing on the institutions of the state, like parliament, like courts are there nowadays, if you understand in the present context. So institutional approach is all about studying the laws of those institution, structure of the institution. But institutional approach is not trying to conceive, not trying to understand that what is the impact of those institution on the society. So this interdependency, that how the society is affecting the institutions and how the institutions are affecting the society. So that correlation and how it is important to maintain the political stability, it was for the first time propounded by the structural functional approach by, like Almond and Powell. So this is what you need to understand. So therefore option would be like number B, the interaction and roles of political structure within the system to maintain stability. This is what we need to understand. Let us go to the next one. Okay, over here it is saying, which thinker's work is foundational in understanding the party system and variation across democracies? So, party system. So, like Sartori is the thinker whose works are really related to the party system. This is what you need to understand. So, Lipschitz is another thinker. He is associated with the concept of consociational democracy. That's very important. So, consociational democracy is a democracy model where the people are arriving at any decision by making consensus, right? They have a consensus, more or less. They compromise on, more or less things. If there is something, if there is some confusion, conflict among them, so they try to compromise. They try to arrive at consensus rather than doing the voting, right? So this is what the consociational democracy is all about, or consociational model of democracy, which is related with Aaron Lipschitz, right? Also, the patterns of Democracy is a very important book written by this thinker. But the answer for this would be Giovanni Sartori, right? So Sartori would be the answer for this. Let us understand the next question. Okay, this question we already have discussed right now. Which of the following thinker is associated with the structural functional approach in comparative politics? Right now, I told you that Gabriel Almond and Powell, these are the two thinkers who talked about the structural functional approach. Talking about SM Lipset, very important thinker, right? He wrote the book called Political Men, very famous. He's also associated with the end of ideology thesis. End of ideology thesis for the first time was propounded by Daniel Bell, and later on it was given by SM Lipset. That's also important for us to understand. David Easton is the pioneer of the system model, and Robert Dahl, he is associated with polyarchy. Polyarchy is a concept which argue that the power is scattered in different groups in the society. It is not just one group which is controlling the power. There are many more groups which are controlling the power. So this is what the model of polyarchy is all about. Okay. Now let us go to the next one. Okay, over here. So this is very important book actually, what you need to understand. So there is one thinker called Burgington Moore, right? He talks about that what is the social causes, like how the dictatorship and the society is associated with each other, how they have relation, right? How the like society is responsible behind the dictatorship or the authoritarian regime in any state. So this is actually given in The Social Origin of Dictatorship and Democracy. This is the book written by Moore. Very important. Understand, right? Important for us. Political Man is like written by SM Lipset. Democracy in America is also very important book, right? This was written by Alexis de Tocqueville, and this Civic Culture was written by like these two thinkers, Sidney Verba and Gabriel Almond, right? Almond and Verba, very important. Remember that too. Let us go to the next one. Which approach in comparative politics emphasizes the study of the political institution, their structure and formal procedures? So obviously, like the study of political institution, their structure and formal procedure. I told you about this when I was talking about the structural functional approach. Over here, I told you that there was, you know, a predecessor of that approach, which was called the institutional approach during the time of Aristotle. It talked about the political institution, their structures, and the formal procedure, what was followed in those institutions. But it never talked about that how it impacted the society and how it was being impacted by society. So it was not discussed over there. So this was question number 8. So answer would be the institutional approach. Okay, who is associated with the concept of power elite? This is a very easy question. According to this concept, the small group of people in any society hold a lot of power. In India also, 1% of people, like they hold 40% of the wealth of the country. So how disproportionate this is, you can think about this. In same manner, the power elite concept was given by C.W. Mills, right? C. Wright Mills is the thinker who is associated with this concept. Let us go to the next one. Who gave the concept of political development in order to understand the modernization and state building? So it is Samuel P. Huntington who gave the political development model in order to understand the modernization and the state building. This is very important for us. Let us go to the next one. Also, this is an important book which was written by Samuel P. Huntington, Political Order in the Changing Society. That is also important. Let us understand the next question. You can also join our coaching. There is a lot of JRF qualified students from our batch. If you are looking for UGC NET JRF classes for political science paper 2, then you are at the right place. You can download our app. You can enroll over there. Let us go to question number 11. Which of the following concept is central to the David Easton theory in political science? See, David Easton is associated with the system model. In system model, see, system model is known by a different name. It is also called the flow model. It is also called input-output model, demand-supply model. These are some of the names given to the system model. So answer would be input-output model. That would be the answer for the concept to which the David Easton is associated, right? Let us go to the next one. Over here, they are asking that who gave the dependency theory and criticized about the relationship between the developed and developing country, that how the developing countries are advanced in technology and how they're exploiting the underdeveloped and developing country. So this disproportionate relationship was for the first time criticized through the dependency theory. And like for the first time, F.H. Cardoso is the thinker who gave this theory. This is very important actually. Like remember this, okay? Now the next one is Immanuel Wallerstein. Immanuel Wallerstein is associated, like he gave the extension of the dependency theory, which is also called the world system theory, right? Like two kind of system he was talking about. He was talking about the world economies and world system, like he differentiated a lot of things over there. Samuel P. Huntington is associated with the modernization theory in comparative politics. Also, political decay is the concept related to Samuel P. Huntington. Gabriel Almond, I talked about. He's a very, like smart guy. He's associated with structural functional approach in comparative politics, also associated with political culture, also to some extent associated with the interest group and the pressure group, actually. So this is what we need to understand from this. Now, let us go to the next one. I told you about this one, that Lipschitz is the author of which book? He gave the concept of constitutional democracy. I explained you this. This is the model of democracy where the people are making the consensus before taking any decision rather than voting. So the patterns of democracy is the book which was written by him, right? Very important, right? This book was written by Moore, right? This political man was written by S.M. Lipset. Politics Among Nations is the book written by Morgenthau, okay, who is associated with the realism in international relation. Now, I told you about polyarchy also. So, polyarchy is the concept which explain that you know, the power is not concentrated just in few hands, right? The power is well dispersed in the society, and people, depending upon their bargaining power, they capture the power in the society. So this concept was given by Robert Dahl, the polyarchy. Okay, I already taught you about this one. That's why I'm going a bit fast. Now let us go to the next one. Who among the following associated with the rational choice approach in comparative politics? I told you about this right now. I was explaining the rational choice approach where the bureaucrats, like they try to inflate the budget of government so that they could have more and more money, they could get good bribe. Also, they could accumulate a lot of money. So they try to maximize their profit, they try to maximize their interest rather than fulfilling the interest of the society. So I already taught you about this. So, I think you figured out the answer as well. So also need to be the answer for this, right? Who is associated with the rational choice model in comparative politics? I told you in the beginning. Also very important. Also has a very important book, The Logic of the Collective Action. Like this is one of the important book which you have to like understand and remember. Just give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, let us go to the next one. Which of the following scholar is associated with the theory of political culture in comparative politics? See, actually, theory of political culture for the first time was given by Lucien Pai. Later on, Almond and Verba, they explained the political culture in a detailed manner. They talked about three kind of pure cultures: the parochial culture, subject political culture, participant political culture, also the civic political culture. Different mix they talked about, right? But it is the Lucian Pai for the first time discuss about the political culture in comparative politics. Okay. Now, End of History and the Last Man. So, End of History and the Last Man, this book, and also the End of History thesis. Actually, the End of History thesis is associated with a lot of thinkers. In fact, it's Hegel, it's Karl Marx, along with Francis Fukuyama. So they all talked about the end of history concept. Over here, they're asking about the book, The End of History and the Last Man. So this book was written by Francis Fukuyama. This is what you need to understand. Okay. Okay, yeah. Let us go to the next one. Which one of the following is not the key feature of the behavioral approach in comparative politics? First of all, behavioral approach was trying to make the political science as a pure science. So it was talking about the empirical approaches. It was talking about observation, experiments, and all. It was not talking about values. Remember my point. So therefore, it never focused on the normative question that what should be done. It was just talking about that what is. It was just the descriptive approach rather than a kind of prescriptive approach, which is equally needed in political science. I often give the example to our student. Empirical approach is all about detecting the disease, but normative approach is all about prescribing the medicine by which that disease could be cured. So being a political science, you have to detect the disease. After that, you have to cure that disease too. You have to tell the medicine that the how the society could be cured out of one disease. So if you are just following the empirical approach, if you are just, like finding the facts and just describing them, it is not going to help you, because you are just detecting the disease, but you are the one who has to solve the disease as well. You have to cure the disease too at the same time. So normativism is also the important part actually whenever we do any research. Okay, we do write our suggestion, we do write our, conclusion, we do write our prescriptions in any one of the research if you go for PhD. So focus on the normative question would be the correct answer. Rest of them, you know, emphasize on the observable behavior. That's true. Empirical data, statistical techniques. So these are the correct answer. Like these are associated with the behavioral approach, not associated is the normative questions actually. Now, who among the following is associated with the world system theory and divides the world into core, periphery, and semi-periphery region? This is a very easy question. You must be knowing about this. So answer is Immanuel Wallerstein. You must be knowing about this. Okay. So Theda Skopel. So Skopel sees like this thinker is related to new institutionalism. Very important, right? New institutionalism or historical institutionalism. New institutionalism has three different strands. The sociological institutionalism, like dimension of it, historical institutionalism, rational choice institutionalism, right? So let us go to the next one, Immanuel Wallerstein. Okay, who gave the relative deprivation theory, right, leading to the political violence? See, the people are very obsessed with that like relative deprivation. What is relative deprivation? A relative deprivation is a feeling that you are getting something less what you deserved. So when you feel that you should be treated, in more better manner, but people are not treating you, then you are filled with a lot of resentment, anger, and all. And then you actually, like you revolt, you do a lot of political violence and all. So that is the relative deprivation. Like this is what the relative deprivation is. This is a kind of feeling, right, rather than the practical situation. It happens, some of our workers also, like I pay a good money to them, like to all our team and everybody, but there are some who think that they are being less paid actually. But I'm not that kind of, like exploitative and capitalist guy. So I'm not doing that. But they are still feeling that they're getting less money. And we can't do in that, like anything. So the problem is that actually. So according to me, the relative deprivation is a kind of feeling what the people have rather than the actual situation. I'm not, discarding this completely, but this is most often, in like real life, what we feel. We feel that we are not being treated properly by our girlfriend or boyfriend. After that, we feel relatively deprived. And after that, like we just, like plug out all the hair of each other, right? This is what we do. So Tedgar is the thinker related with this, the relative deprivation theory. Also, a book is very important. Why the Men Rebel? This is very important book, right? Which you have to like understand about that thinker. Okay, this is a very simple question. Which thinker is associated with the classification of governments based on the number of rulers and their interest, laying the foundation for the comparative politics? That's very easy. Everybody know that. Aristotle is called the father of political science as well as the comparative politics. He studied 158 constitutions in Greek city-state, right? 158, not 157. Okay, my data is correct. Okay, and over there he actually classified monarchy, tyranny, right? Then oligarchy, like aristocracy and oligarchy, right? Then democracy and polity. So this is what they are talking about. So Aristotle would be the correct answer for this. Okay. Which approach in comparative politics is primarily concerned with how the individual use strategic decision making to achieve their goal in the political context? I told you about this. Rational choice approach would be the correct answer. People are being very strategic and they are trying to just maximize their profit and they are taking the decision. So, rational choice approach would be the correct answer for this. Now, the next one. Who among the following introduced the dependency theory to critique the development paradigm suggested by the modernization theory? See, the development paradigm and modernization theory was actually suggested by the thinkers like W. Rousseau, David Apter. These thinkers, okay. They said that if you want to become developed, then you have to follow the trajectory of the Western nation. The way the Western nation, like the way the Western nation developed, the same trajectory, the same path you have to follow. There is no second way to become developed, right? This is what the modernization theory is all about. Also, the modernization theory was criticizing the societies of the underdeveloped and developing nation. They are saying that you are underdeveloped because of your society. You have the ascriptive values over there. Ascriptive value, I mean, like you have caste system, you have exploitation, you have religious conflict and all. That's why you people are not developed. You are illiterate. These kind of things, which was claimed by W. Rousseau and David Apter and such thinkers in modernization theory. But like thinkers such as Cardoso, such as A.G. Frank, such as Prisbach, these thinker, right, they actually gave the dependency theory and said that you are the reason. The developed nation are the reason, you know, like behind the underdevelopment for us. Because you all are technologically advanced, you all are taking the raw material, exploiting us. So this is the main reason. So Rolf Prisbach is the thinker associated with this. Remember my point. Let us go to the next one. Question number, I already told you about this. Who is associated with the historical institutionalism? So that would be Theda Skopel. Right, the option number A, that's the important. Okay, Robert Putnam is also the important thinker. He gave the concept of the social capital. Remember that point. A book is also written by him that is called Bowling Alone. So write that too, right? Bowling Alone is the name of the book. Okay. Now let us go to the next one. Okay, Charles Tilly has a very famous statement which is important for UGC NET JRF, right? If I'm able to recall, I'm just telling you the essence of that statement. Okay, not exactly if I'm just trying to rephrase and tell you in passive voice. So that is like states like war make nations and nations make war. That means, like wars are responsible for new nation states, and again the new nation state, then they do the war, and then this cycle continues. This is what the Charles Tilly said. Okay, state and social revolution, it has came one time in UGC net, so very important. Remember my point. Okay, which of the following wait just a second. Which concept introduced by Sartori focused on the systematic study of political parties and their functions in democracies? So he talked about the party system topology. So this is what we need to understand. I hope you get the point. You can download that PDF. I will upload that soon from our app. Also, we have the best series. Trust me, we have best courses also. You can read the review. You can visit our website. So if you are looking for UGC NET JRF Paper 2 course, you are at the right place for political science. Trust me, we have the best result and you can also crack that. Unlike other tech giants, we don't have a lot of money to have like advertisement and all. If I do also, then also I'm not interested in them. Okay, so that's why. So thank you so much and have a great day ahead. And or if you're watching this video at night, then have a good night ahead and all the best for your examinations.